The Tata family, please come down to the field. Thank you.
Hall of Fame induction. Oh, I thought he was. Hi, Jennifer. What are you doing over there? Huh?
What you sipping on? I got you talking crazy, looking at me sideways, always coming at me. Why you acting hard when you just a baby? Boy, I keep it real with you. What you tryna play me? Have you lost your mind? Open up your eyes. Your mama raised you better than that. What you sipping on? I got you talking crazy, looking at me sideways, always coming at me. Why you acting like you never met a lady? I don't disrespect you, don't you disrespect me. You lost your mind, open up your eyes.
Cheek Kula Kulabali. Cheek Kulabali. Junior Kulabali.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. No, they're not. No, they're not.
They're probably sick. Dennis, this team we're playing, yes, sir. They're 0 and 9. Oh. They've been outscored 54 to 4. Oh wow. So it's a good game for Doug Miller to come back, isn't it? The whole game, the point of him coming back was to like tip the scales against like a Goliath. No, no Goliath here today. Oh, okay.
Soccer fans, every year is a very special time for us.
We started in 2011 at the Blue Cross War Memorial. We call it the Black and Blue War Memorial, where we inducted the first class of honorees for the Lancer Legends. There would be no soccer in Rochester, and in my opinion, there would be no soccer in America if it wasn't for the pioneers of the Lancers that got the game started. Tonight we're going to be honoring some people. Before we do, let's hear a round of applause for anyone that was ever part of the Lancers organization that started soccer in America. Now I'm proud to introduce to you the man that heads up the Lancer Legend Committee. His name is Andrew Battisti. He's one of the hosts of Soccer is a Kick in the Grass on Monday nights. Andrew, welcome.
Thanks very much, Sam, and my condolences for Portugal. Uruguay 2, Portugal 1. Well, anyway, let's get to what we're here for tonight, or today. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's special event where we pay tribute to the pioneers of soccer in Rochester. And today we honor 5 of these gentlemen that are being inducted into the Lancers Wall of Fame class of 2018. Over 50 years ago, the American Soccer League granted a pro franchise to the Rochester Soccer Club, which had its roots in the Italian-American Sport Club of Rochester and their 1963 National Amateur Cup Championship team. Sorry about that. Thus was born a team that would bring the world's game to Rochester for the next 14 years, the Lancers. The team and their players had great achievements, including in 1972, the Lancers were the only NASL team in history to compete in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. They finished 4th. On August 21st, 1977, the Lancers drew over 20,000 fans to Howard Stadium for the NASL semifinal playoff match against the Cosmos, still the largest attended home team event in Rochester sports history. The Lancers brought to Rochester some of the greatest soccer players in history, including Franz Beckenbauer, Johan Cruyff, Gerd Muller, Giorgio Chinaglia, and Pelé, and world-famous international clubs Chelsea, Manchester City, Manchester United, Roma, and Lazio, and perhaps the Lancers' greatest accomplishment, winning the NASL title in 1970. Before we introduce this year's class, let's honor the members of the Wall of Fame who are here with us today. Original Lancers, Tito Laurini and Mauro Felipe. Lancers owner and one of the pioneers of youth soccer in the United States, Ed Morante. 3-time NASL All-Star, Francisco Pancho Escos. He covered the Lancers for the final years in the North American Soccer League for the DNC, one of the top soccer writers in America, Michael Lewis. And he was the trainer for the Lancers for all 14 seasons, more than any other NASL trainer, and the only trainer ever to be red carded in an NASL match, my friend Joe Red Card Sirianni. I also want to acknowledge the members of the Wall of Fame Committee, Joe Sirianni, Michael Lewis, Mr. Zero, Dick Howard, Deb Myers, and Gene Hedges. And now it's my pleasure to introduce the Lancers Wall of Fame class of 2018. And our first 2 inductees are men whose vision, fortitude, and love of soccer and our city made the Lancers a reality. First is a gentleman who has been a key figure in both the Rochester Italian community and the soccer community for over 70 years. After arriving in Rochester at age 5 from Argentina, he attended John Marshall High School, Hobart College, and received his law degree from Brooklyn Law School. He served our country in the United States Army for 3 years and practiced law in Rochester for 60 years. In the late 1940s, he joined with a small number of immigrants of Italian heritage in Rochester to start a club based on love of Italian culture and sport to help new arrivals from Italy to the Flower City assimilate into the American way of life. And believe me, there were many, many of them. In 1957, he incorporated the club into an official nonprofit organization
the Italian American Sport Club of Rochester, along with fellow IAC members Tony Polano, Ed Morante, and our second inductee today. They had a vision and a goal to secure a pro soccer franchise for Rochester. The four of them engaged Charlie Sciano and Pat Donalfo to head up the ownership group, and the Rochester Lancers were born. He was also a minority owner of the Lancers for their entire existence. He served as president and chairman of the board of directors of the IASC, president of the Italian Civic League, president of the Businessmen Association of Rochester, president of the Rochester Soccer League, and the Northwest New York State Soccer Football Association, and he's a member of the Italian American Community Center Sports Hall of Fame. To this very day, he serves as an honorary board member of the IASC and part of the dedicated team of volunteers that provides a delicious and filling lunch to over 200 people every other Thursday at the club. Our first inductee, Rudy Lepore.
Good job, Rudy.
Next is a gentleman who was actually born in Rochester in the 1920s but lived his childhood in Rocco di Mezzo, Italy, and went with his father to Ethiopia as a young man to work in the construction business. He returned to Rochester in his mid-20s and was part of the group of Italian immigrants that founded the IASC. And he was assistant coach of the men's soccer team for many years, including the team that won the cup in 1963. He was one of the original group of members with Rudy, Ed, and Tony that purchased the franchise in for the Rochester Lancers in the American Soccer League, and was also a minority owner of the Lancers for their entire existence. He was president and board member of the IASC, the Northwestern Intercity Soccer League, the Rochester Soccer League, and vice president and life member of the Western New York Soccer Football Association, and is also a member of the Italian American Community Center Hall of Fame. He owned Do Right Garage in the city of Rochester from the 50s to the 90s, serving the community as an auto mechanic specializing in transmissions and brakes. And according to Charlie Sciano, he made the best sauce ever. He passed away on July 11, 2011 at the age of 89, leaving behind a loving family and many, many friends who remember him fondly to this day. The late Patsy Frank. And accepting the award for Patsy is his daughter, Marianne Donato, and his son, Dan Frank. Our next inductee is one of the original members of the Rochester Lancers. From Agropoli, Italy, he played amateur soccer in his native land before coming to the U.S. in 1956. He joined the IASC and was a feared left winger who scored many, many goals for that powerhouse team that consistently won local titles and made deep runs into the National Amateur Challenge Cup. In 1963, his play up top was key to the IASC winning the cup. He scored 2 goals and had 2 assists in the 5-1 semifinal victory and scored the only goal in the final, a match-winning goal Olympico directly off a corner kick. He also played on the 1959 Final Four team and the 1966 runners-up team in the Challenge Cup. And in the twilight of his career, he played on the very first Lancer team in '67 and competed against some of the best teams in the world, including Chelsea, Manchester City, and Borussia Dortmund. He is the first of 3 generations of his family to suit up for a Rochester-based soccer team. His son Pat was a member of the Rochester Flash in 1984, and his grandson Dominic Coco played for this version of the Lancers in 2017. And his other grandson Nick was a Division III soccer All-American at Cortland State. He worked many years at General Motors and spending his retirement years supporting his grandkids throughout their soccer careers, growing delicious vegetables in his garden, and spending the cold winter months in Florida. Our next inductee, Frank Tata. Frank could not be with us today. Ed Morante will accept in his honor. This year's media inductee is a native of Rochester and one of our best-known television sports personalities. He literally grew up in the shadow of Holliday Stadium, then known as Aquinas Stadium, back in the 1950s. He attended school number 40 on LaGrange Avenue and graduated from Aquinas in 1955. He then started a 30-plus year career in broadcasting, starting in radio and WACK in Newark, and then he joined fledgling WOKR in 1967 and spent 13 years as sports director and TV host covering all Rochester sports, including the Lancers. He was the Lancers TV play-by-play man on match broadcasts on WOKR with Charlie Schiano on the color commentary, and he also emceed many events for the Lancers at Holliday Stadium. He also did play-by-play for Red Wings and high school sports. But as much as he was known in the soccer community, he was best remembered for his associated with another sport associated with Rochesterians, the sport of bowling. He hosted the popular nightly show Bowling for Dollars on WOKR for 5 years. It's the highest rated locally produced TV show in Rochester history, along with weekly shows Fun Time Junior Bowling and the Brighton Panorama TV roll-offs. He's a member of the Frontier Field Walk of Fame, the Bowlers Alliance of Rochester Hall of Fame, and the Rochester USBC Bowling Association Hall of Fame, and was the Rochester Press Radio Club Sportscaster of the Year in 1984, Ron DeFrance. Ron could not be with us today. Joe Sirianni will accept in his honor. And our final inductee is one of the most famous stars in U.S. soccer history. He was an accomplished athlete in high school as a pole vaulter, believe it or not, and played a number of team sports. The soccer coach saw him playing baseball and saw how good he was with his hands and asked him to join the soccer team as a goalie, and the rest is history. He was a two-time All-American for NYU and Harvard and started in goal for the United States in the 1972 Summer Olympics. He joined his hometown New York Cosmos in 1973, but his move to Boston in 1975 took him on the path to being the top goalie in the NASL. Returning to the Cosmos, he helped the team to the NASL title in 1977, including that famous 2-1 win over the Lancers at Holliday Stadium where he was the man of the match, but we'll forgive him for that one. He played his final season of outdoor soccer in Rochester in 1979, starting 29 of 30 matches, winning 11 of 15 contests at home, and with him anchoring a rock-solid defense, the Lancers won 7 of 9 of their last matches, and they were drawing over 10,000 fans a game to Holliday Stadium, helped by two 18-year-olds up top named Bronco Segoda and Pat Ercole. The Lancers missed the playoffs by just 1 point, despite having a better record than third-place Toronto. He also made his mark in the indoor game of the New York Arrows of the MISL, which had Lancers coach Dragan Popovich and many Lancer players. That team won the first 4 MISL titles. He was an All-Star 3 times and MVP of the first ever MISL Championship Series. After retirement from playing, he once again has made his mark on the sport in the TV booth as the color commentator for the New York Metro Stars and the New York Red Bulls, also covering 5 World Cups and 2 Olympic soccer tournaments. And he has made his mark today. He is the co-owner of the Connecticut Fusion of the UWS with his partner, JB Telecamera. He's a member of the New York Sports Hall of Fame, the National Jewish Sports Hall of Fame, and the Nassau County Sports Hall of Fame. Our final inductee, Shep Messing. Shep could not be with us today to a personal commitment. Accepting is his fellow New Yorker, Michael Lewis, who has a few words from Shep to share with us.
Thank you. Unfortunately, Shep had a previous commitment, but he asked me to say a few words for him. I've gotten to know Shep over the last 4 decades, mostly in New York, and almost feels like part of the family. Anyway, this is what Shep had to say. I loved being a player for the Rochester Lancers. I was honored to play for them, where Carlos Meditieri was a star. I was fortunate to have great teammates like Bronco Segota, David DeRico, Craig Reynolds, Fred Gugurev, Jim Pollard, Pat Ercole, Luis Alberto, and Val Tuksha, to name a few. Thank you to the Lancers Wall of Fame. I love you, Rochester. Shep Messing. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Let's have a big hand for all the members of the Lancers Wall of Fame class of 2018.
Let's hear it for Andrew Battisti and his committee for doing this every year. Andrew Battisti. Before everybody leaves, hold on. Because it's so hot, you know, you came from Argentina, right? This is nothing. This is a winter. Mr. Lepore, I mean, I personally want to thank you for your commitment to the Lancers and getting soccer started. But I'm curious, what's your fondest memory as one of the founding members of the Lancers?
My fondest memory was the first time that the team took the field under the colors of the Rochester Lancers. And I wanted to also let you all know that I was the first president of the Rochester Lancers. Thank you very much. I'm very honored to be here. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Mr. Rudy Lepore. The Frank family, I mean, obviously your dad, I heard stories. He was kind of the engine behind everything, getting things going and getting the team started. As young kids, do you recall any of these times with the Lancers, and what was your greatest memories with the Lancers and your father?
Well, we used to go to the games. Rudy, they were every Wednesday and Sunday, right?
Yeah, but the critique was every day.
Every day. Yeah, he used to take us to the games, and I remember the old Hollander Stadium, and we used to have a good time. It was wonderful.
He's a legend in this community for what he's done, Patsy Frank. And I'm curious, you're probably not old enough to remember the Lancers, but I'm sure you've heard stories.
Yeah, just that he was always so passionate about the game and the team, and we saw his dedication throughout his life, and we're really honored today to accept this on his behalf.
Well, thank you both for being here. Joe Sirianni, you accepted the award for Ron de France. I know you were an avid bowler back in the day. Just curious, so you were at every game for the Lancers, the original Flash. Your memories of Mr. Ron de France?
Ron de France is certainly a person that learned the game a lot from soccer. He was a great guy for Rochester, representing Rochester, and unfortunately, I was not a good bowler. So, thank you very much, Sam.
All right, he's a legend. Mr. Tito Lorini, one of the greatest all-time Lancer players. Tito, we're honored that you're here today, and obviously you were inducted in the past. But what does this mean for you, this induction ceremony every year?
It brings back a lot of great memories. The friends that I made for playing for the Lancers, and the opportunity to enjoy. Okay? Thank you very much, and I thank you also, you and your family.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tito Lorini. Now, Mr. Ed Moranti, you were part of the Lancers in the beginning, one of the owners. You also started youth soccer in Chili. I know you accepted the award today for Mr. Frank Tata, who couldn't be here. But I'm curious, you got this envelope you keep on trying to give me. Is it tickets to the 1967 Lancers season tickets? What is it?
No, it's not. First of all, I want to thank you for all you have done and all you're doing for soccer in Morocani. On behalf of the Chili Soccer Association, as everybody knows in Morocani, Chili is the town where we give a birth to the 7-year-old kids. We spread out in Morocani. So this coming October 24th, we're going to have a celebration of 50 years anniversary, and everybody's invited to come, and the Chili Soccer Association is inviting you, and I have some tickets for you for the dinner to be there. Your presence will be very important and very honorable. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moranti. I'm very honored. It says Chili Soccer Association, Sunday, October 14th. I will be there. Thank you so much. Mauro Felipe, the legend Lancer player from Brazil. Brazil still in the World Cup. They take Mexico, right? Tuesday night. Mauro, your fondest memory as a Lancer player?
The first game we ever played, 1967, we played against Chelsea. That was a real good game, and it was a pleasure to play for the Lancers family. All you people are my family.
Well, thank you so much for the great memories and what you did in the Irondequoit Falls Soccer League, and the Webster Falls Soccer League, and the Gropoli trips, and everything else. Argentina today got eliminated. I was rooting for Argentina because of one person I know. His name is Francisco Escos. Escos, stand up. He's one of the greatest Lancers of all time also. He wore number 6. I wore number 6 as a kid in his honor. And every once in a while I meet him at Dunkin' Donuts. And I have to wear shin guards because he still kicks really hard. But Escos, your greatest memory as a Lancer player back at Hollander Stadium, sir?
Well, I think the best memory was when we reached the semifinal with the New York Cosmos, especially when New York have a lot of superstars. We dominated the game, we have a chance, but we lost the game, but I think that was my best moment in Rochester in soccer.
Well, we all remember that moment. 20,000 plus fans. Thank you so much, Francisco Escos. Michael Lewis, you covered this team since 1975. I wasn't born yet, but some of you, tell me your greatest memory covering the Lancers from day one, sir.
Well, that would have to be the same game that Francisco just talked about, the semifinal game in 1977, when you pack Hollander Stadium with 20,000 plus people, and a whale of a game too. Yes, Rochester did dominate the game, but as we all know, soccer could be a very cruel sport. I'll say this though, I'll leave everyone on a much higher note, a much positive note. The second most incredible game that I watched at Hollander Stadium here in Rochester was the quarterfinals against the Toronto Metro's Croatia. The game went into a shootout. It was players were ejected from each team. Crazy game, but somehow the Lancers survived, and they won that game and then won the next game in Toronto. So it was two of my best memories within weeks of one another.
Well, thank you very much, Michael Lewis. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the Lancer legends who brought us soccer in Rochester, New York, and in America, the pioneers of the game.
Additional merchandise is available at ourlancers.com and a top-notch monogram. The UPS store located in Webster's Midtown Plaza. We print what your business runs on. Enjoy the taste of Italy's #1 pasta at Barilla for dinner tomorrow. Barilla, fueled by Barilla. At Fairport Savings Bank, we believe you should love your bank, not just like it, but love it. So we work hard every day to make banking easy. Soccer is a kick in the grass. Starting goalkeeper wearing 0. Number 2, Rafael Vitoy. In the midfield, wearing number 6, the Scottish sensation, Ben Allen. This starting defender is a former Syracuse Silver Knights indoor star. He is Diamond Tim Crawford. Starting up top, wearing number 9, Will and the family Stone. In the midfield, he is number 11, Lucas Free Kick Fernandez. Giving it a go in the midfield, a former indoor star with the Syracuse Silver Knights, wearing number 12, Darren Shelby. This midfielder is number 16. He is the Red Mamba, Anthony Rosano. Running up top, wearing number 21, Peter Di Lorenzo. And starting on the back line, wearing number 23, Alex Harley. The head coach, and wearing number 19 today of your Lancers, is the legend, Doug Miller. He is assisted by Adam Schwartz and Ray Boom Boom Martinez. Ladies and gentlemen, there they are, your 2018 Rochester Lancers.
Get your hands off of this glass, last call my ass. No chain, no lock, and this train won't stop.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, would you please rise and remove your hats for the singing of our national anthem, this afternoon being performed by Fiona Padron.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we send it down to the field. He is the soul of soccer. Ladies and gentlemen, Soccer Sam.
Soccer fans, thank you so much for being here. We're hoping that interim coach Adam Schwartz does play Doug Miller tonight. We'll see what happens with that. But we've been celebrating the history of soccer in Monroe County this season with the Lancer Legends tonight, with the history of what happened at Frontier Field, and obviously Doug Miller being here tonight and hopefully playing is a big part of that history. But there would be no history, there would be no Rhinos history if it wasn't for the coverage of the Democrat and Chronicle newspaper, and this wouldn't have become Soccer Town, USA, when the Rhinos exploded up the street. And with their explosion, we were able to get this beautiful facility. That person that covered the Rhinos up the street for years, one of the best sports writers I know that covered the Rhinos, the Lancers, high school sports, Syracuse, and more. Please welcome my good friend, Jeff DeVeronica, and his family, wife Chrissy and daughter Francesca. Tebow, I know you don't do long interviews, but I just, on behalf of the soccer community, we want to thank you. I have a plaque for you. Can I have that, please? I can't see from here. My eyes are getting bad. I'm really got emotional just saying that, because your coverage, my office is full of Rhinos stories. Front page, not only of the DNC sports, but of the DNC. You put soccer on the map by the coverage you gave. You were at practice every single day up the street at Frontier Field. This community owes you so much. And on behalf of the soccer community, it says, Jeff DeVeronica, a.k.a. Devo, June 30th, 2018. Rochester thanks you for your dedicated support of Rochester Pro Soccer and for being part of Soccer Town USA, covering our sport from '96 to 2018. Devo, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Rochester. It's been my privilege and an honor to bring you all the highlights. I think there's two names I wrote the most in my career. One is Wambach and one is Doug Miller. Go get a goal today, old man.
Thank you so much. Jeff DeVeronica, honorary captain. Wait, Devo, you guys, the DeVeronica family, you got to kick the ball over there.
Good afternoon and welcome to a very warm, a very muggy Marina Auto Stadium in downtown Rochester. The temperature is 93 degrees. The humidity is 54%. Heat index 103 for this 5 p.m. kickoff. NPSL soccer coming your way next. The Rochester Lancers and Greater Binghamton FC. Hi, everybody. I'm Joe Giuliano, and he has been gracious enough to sit in with us and cover for Nelson Cupello. Been a while, my friend Andrew Battisti from Soccer is a Kick in the Grass. Great job as the MC out there for the Lancers Wall of Fame ceremony, and thanks for stepping in.
Boy, this is deja vu all over again, isn't it? 2015 was the last time we did games, and then I started doing working for the Rhinos, so they put somebody else in for me. But I've missed this. I love doing games. I love doing play-by-play in color. I've done both, and I'm glad you're doing play-by-play because I've had enough talking.
It's great to have you do a great job as we get ready to start the Lancers and Greater Binghamton FC. Your starting lineups first for the visitors from Binghamton. They'll go with Corey Swarthout in goal, Brian Jackson, Adam Nichols, Lisberto Calvo, Cheek Koulibaly, and Junior Koulibaly, Isaac Pastel, Alex Lewis, Nicholas Steed, Mark Lee, and Osi Tamua Osipitan will start for the 0-9 Greater Binghamton FC Thunder. Al Midlinski is the head coach. We'll talk about the difficult season they're having this year as we get into the match tonight. For the Rochester Lancers, James Lepetit is in goal. They'll go with Rafael Godoy, Ben Allen, Tim Crawford, Will Stone, Lucas Fernandez, Darren Toby, Anthony Rosano, Peter DiLorenzo, Alex Harling, and the team captain, Jake Schindler, rounds up the starting lineup. Doug Miller is the head coach, but Andrew, Adam Schwartz is the acting head coach because number 19, he's registered to play today. Doug Miller.
I thought you were going to say he was red carded or something. No, number 19, Doug Miller, the Rochester Rhinos Hall of Famer, leading scorer, Rhino history, scored unbelievable goals for the Rhinos, leading them to 3 USL titles and the U.S. Open Cup in 1999. He wanted to play a match here at Marino Auto/Rhino Stadium, and he's doing it. He's played for Indoor Lancers, the Rhinos, and now hopefully for the Outdoor Lancers. If Adam Schwartz decides to put him in. We don't know. Sam's been egging him on to make sure he gets in the game.
I got a funny feeling he will get into the game. Doug Miller will wear number 19. He's out of retirement again, and he deserves the opportunity to play here at the stadium. He really kind of helped build because he created, like you said, so much excitement just a few blocks away. Referee today is Charles Murphy, assisted by David Rousseau and Democratis Pashilidis, and Mark Metzler is the fourth. Lancers in the blue with the gold socks. Attacking from right to left, Greater Binghamton in the red tops, black shorts, and red socks will go from left to right. And Andrew, they have had a very rude welcoming to the NPSL. 4 goals scored in 9 games played, 54 against. Difficult start for the first-year club here in the NPSL.
But if I remember right, this team actually did play the Rhinos in the U.S. Open Cup back in the day, if I remember right. But it's not the same franchise. The original franchise, I believe, they lost a lot of their players to Syracuse FC. So this is basically a bunch of college guys playing against some college guys, but some more experienced guys for the Lancers. But like you said, early on they were really struggling. But lately they've been losing games by a goal or two. So the Lancers, though, Joe, they have to score goals. They have to score a lot of goals because the only way they can make the playoffs is to win their last 3 games and beat Cleveland on their goal difference if Cleveland doesn't get any more points. Cleveland's plus 23, the Lancers are 0.
Cleveland at Syracuse today. Anthony Rosano filled in as the color analyst for the women's game today, and that was his theme, goals, goals, goals. So we'll see if they can come up with any here as it's Alex Harling pumping one into the box. DiLorenzo's header right at Swarthout. Peter DiLorenzo, the 24-year-old out of SUNY Brockport, getting the start, his 6th appearance of the season.
Well, Joe, the biggest factor in this game today, as you mentioned earlier, is going to be the heat. I was down there for the Lancers Wall of Fame ceremony, and my feet were burning by the time I got off. It must be about 110 degrees down there on the field. And we'll see how the players adjust and react to this because the players have got to take care of themselves. So you'll be seeing water breaks in this match for sure.
Hydration break in the 25th minute and I believe the 70th minute of the women's game earlier today. And we'll see if that's the same breaking point today. As Toby, you talk about veterans, 36 years old. He's definitely one of them. And I'm excited to see the legs on the 49-year-old Doug Miller, the soccer legend.
Knowing Doug, he will be ready. From what he was on earlier today with Soccer Sam on his show and saying he was going into the oxygen chamber, 92% oxygen, get a massage earlier. He's ready to go. Doug Miller is the most competitive person I have ever met when it comes to soccer. And I'm not kidding. I've met a lot of people.
It's not just soccer, it's everything in life. He doesn't stop.
He's always energetic, and he really wants to score a goal today.
Allen looking for Rosano, corner of the 18. He's dumped, no call made. Getting back to Doug Miller's energy, I remember with the indoor team on the road traveling, would sleep in his clothes on top of the bed. Alarm would go off, he'd hop up. Unbelievable. Machine that never quits.
We'll see if he comes out of the field at what point because, again, the Lancers, they got to score 10 goals today. And they play Binghamton again tomorrow down in Binghamton. Very quick turnaround. It's going to be another incredibly hot day, maybe even hotter than today. So, really, Joe, I mean, they got to get going quick. I mean,
well, the 10-plus goals are possible. Binghamton's given up double digits twice this year. Against Cleveland, they lost 10-0 on May 26th. Then on May 30th, 11-0. They lost against the Erie Commodores. So it's been done. And can the Lancers do it? We'll see.
Well, the Lady Lancers scored 9 goals in the game earlier this year against Worcester. So, things can happen very quick in this sport, especially if you get tired. So you might think maybe the first half, maybe not so many goals, but I think the second half you may really see things open up. We're interested to see what the substitutions are going to be like in today's match.
Pencil and pen in hand, ready to go up and down the roster sheet. And this one is kept in play by Koulibaly. He comes forward now to Adam Nichols on the far side. He'll take a few big touches, now slow it down, cuts around Stone. Allen is there to poke it away to Godoy.
They got some big boys on this Binghamton team, just looking at them.
There's Calvo, one of them.
Yep, number 25. Wow.
Sipitan. Looks for the top of the 18, but Jake the Schindler the wall, Schindler, I should say. I was talking to Anthony Rosano about him, and 30 years old, but he said he plays like a youngster. He just does not stop. He's playing a little higher tonight ahead of Toby, Harling, and Timmy Crawford.
We talk about the Lancers needing all these goals to make the playoffs, but they can't leave themselves open in the back because you don't want to see Binghamton nick a goal here and there in this match either. So that's why Jake Schindler and Darren Toby, the veterans in the back, they really need to keep control in the back. And Lapetit has played great so far.
Lewis goes back to the far side, hustling back. Nice header by Tim Crawford. Ben Allen, I should say, now with it. Comes outside to Godoy. Rafael Godoy, 4 goals, 2 assists on the season. To another very dangerous player in Lucas Fernandez. 3 goals, 1 assist for the Temple product. Toby to Harling. There's Rosano coming off a pulled hamstring in the last game. Hopefully he'll be able to muster this one out today. Said he still feel a little sore, but was even up here stretching during the broadcast of the women's game. Koulibaly to Lewis. A little toe poke forward now, Mark Lee. Steed forced outside by Toby, cuts it back to his left. And this one goes off of Crawford. First corner kick of the game coming up for Greater Binghamton. Last night of the MPSL, Erie 2-0 over FC Buffalo. Another game today is Cleveland and Syracuse in the East Conference of the NPSL. What a World Cup, Mr. Battisti.
Mr. Lapetit has got to be out of his mind today because France beating Argentina 4-3, and he's, of course, a native of France, so he had to be very happy with that result. Of course, he doesn't want to give up 3 goals like the French team did today, but great match. And the other match, Uruguay 2, Portugal 1. Messi and Ronaldo are both out of the World Cup.
Unbelievable. We'll talk more World Cup after this Lancer rush with Schindler to Di Lorenzo. Outside for Godoy. Doesn't get it there, broken up by Koulibaly.
Hey, so far, Joe, this doesn't look like a team that's lost all their games. They're solid so far. Again, they've been playing much better lately. They've lost, but they've only lost by small margins. And I think you wonder if they got better players.
2-1. Last game, a loss against FC Buffalo at Robert Rich High School in Buffalo, New York. They lost 4-0 against Syracuse before that. But, yeah, the numbers have definitely gone down. This is Di Lorenzo hustling into the 18. Corner of the 6, Di Lorenzo. Couldn't settle that one, and it's picked up by Swarthout.
That last touch just evades the youngster Di Lorenzo. Good Italian name.
Yeah, for sure.
Italy's not in the World Cup, but I'm sure he's playing very hard. He's got a lot of pressure on him. He needs to put the ball in the back of the net today.
Jackson. Steed. Koulibaly, who plays at Corning Community College. Gets it back to Steed. Still Steed, middle of the park, left-footed shot. Doesn't get all of it. Le Petit will scoop it up with no harm. 9th minute and scoreless at Marina Auto Stadium. Lancers 1-1-2 on home turf.
I'm sure that frustrates Coach Doug Miller to no end. You got to protect your home park, and the Lancers have actually played a little better on the road than they have played at home this year. They've got Canada Erie a couple of their only loss of points. They've tied them twice. So this team has potential. They just have had some results that have not gone their way that maybe should have.
Fernandez looking for Will Stone. Turns, fires, doesn't get all of it. The big number 9.
He needs to channel his inner Harry Kane today,
yeah.
I think. We're in the same number as the England captain who leads the World Cup in goals scored by an individual. Of course, own goals actually lead the World Cup in scoring right now, so which would be the first time ever.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting stat.
9 own goals so
far. With the U.S. and Italy not qualifying, my expectations, my level of excitement for the World Cup at an all-time low, but it quickly turned around. I'm very entertained and excited.
After the 2 matches today, they were both excited. Cavani with both goals for Uruguay, world-class goals. And Uruguay still 4 wins out of 4. think anybody expected it, but they'll be playing France in the quarterfinals. What a match that's going to be.
All right, Anthony Rosano says France will win the World Cup. That's
my
put you on
pick.
the spot. You too, huh?
My pick too is from France.
Should be interesting.
But I want England to win.
That would be sentimental, I think.
Yes, definitely.
Long ball into the box, chipped in, headed down into the turf by Osipitan, and no trouble there for James Lepetit, who's coming into this one playing 6 games and 7 goals against. Kind of snatched away that starting job from Will Benahin.
And James Lepetit has just signed a contract with the Harrisburg Heat of the Major Arena Soccer League. So he is going to be playing. He was thinking about going back to France and playing maybe 2nd, 3rd division, but he decided to stay in the U.S.
Welcome to a new world of soccer, a different sport altogether. Going to the indoor game.
You'll have a learning experience, that's for sure.
It'll take, they say, a year to 2 years, especially for goalies, to adjust to that game. That was from a good friend of mine named Pat Hannigan, who was a tremendous indoor goalkeeper. It's a heavy touch, but still kept in possession by Calvo. Cheek Koulibaly, what a cool name that is.
A lot of great soccer names, you know. And I give you great credit for pronouncing them properly, Joe.
Well, I hope I am. That's the discussion before the games, always with the coaches and staff. It's a good opportunity for these youngsters to have their name pronounced correctly and get some positive publicity. Deflected into the box, headed away by Ben Allen. Will Stone checking back to help out. Will Stone stepped in last week, worked up in the booth, and worried about his blood pressure. He was intense. Here he is again. Still Will Stone. Tucked away there by Jackson, but Rosano plays it behind Schindler. He'll regroup. He'll go long now on the far side. Godoy's going to have to hustle. Can he keep it in? No.
Will Stone, a very typical English type forward. He's very strong, very intense, goes for the ball, has no fear at all. And I think you see a career for this gentleman. He's a good player. I think, you know, he can get into get maybe into a professional team at some point. He could do well here.
That's his goal. I had a good discussion with him about going to Division II Wilmington College instead of a Division I. Said it was just a better fit for him. And he played his first 2 years at GCC, Genesee Community College. It's a good ball for Rosano. Into the 18, Rosano. Good tackle there. Common Koulibaly. Plays it to Lisberto Calvo. Alex Lewis.
Well, there's no VAR today here at Marine Auto Stadium.
Steed, left foot shot, deflected, finds the back of the net. Exactly what Andrew talked about. Don't give up that goal. In the 13th minute, it's Steed who has shocked the place with a goal for Binghamton.
First, I don't know if it's the first lead Binghamton has had this year, but it must be pretty close. And again, the Lancers back line, they know they have to score goals, but they got caught, and just a good transition goal from Steed. He's been looking very dangerous up top. He has some good moves, some good speed, and he wrong-footed Lepetit, and Binghamton goes up 1-0.
Steed in the 13th minute, and Lepetit really no chance there. Said wrong-footed, didn't have the opportunity to go back after that deflection. And now the Lancers really going to have to work out of a hole here. Anthony Rosano has come to the sideline, taking off that bandage that's around the hamstring. Looks like he feels he's good enough to go without it. And the Lancers respond. Stone pokes around one. Koulibaly will see this one out of play. You brought up VAR. Discussions amongst my friends. Some love it, some hate it. What are your thoughts on it?
I love it.
Me too.
I think you get the calls right. And you know what it does? It means more scoring, because you've got more penalties called in this World Cup and scored than in any World Cup in history. And it's because the VAR is correcting the referees' decisions where they're hesitant to call penalties. But now they're going to the replay, and
I think it's reassuring for the official.
I think it is too. And I think it's hopefully will also stop embellishment, which Mr. Neymar had happen to him in one of the matches against Brazil. But I love it. I think it's just going to continue to get better. Use the technology. I'll never forget when Frank Lampard had that goal wiped out against Germany in the World Cup, which was clearly in the back of the net. That's where it started, and now it's gone the next step. We'll see where it goes from here.
There's a man with a checkered jacket on and sunglasses walking around the stadium today who is not in favor of VAR. You know who that is, I'm sure.
Yes, Soccer Sam mentioned that in the show.
Oh, did he?
He mentioned on the show.
Yeah, we talked
said,
about it.
He said he'd rather see the offside rule changed. I said, no, Sam, no.
Adam Nichols now with it on the outside. One-on-one against Godoy. Nichols still with it. Right-footed shot blocked by Tim Crawford. Isaac Pastel, first time we've called his name into the box. Lancers may be stunned here.
Well, one thing I've noticed, speaking of offsides, Binghamton's playing a very, very high line. So you might want to see one of the Lancers quick forwards try to get in behind on a long ball. They've tried it a couple times, hasn't been successful. But Binghamton is pushing a lot of guys forward. And so we'll see if that makes a difference as we play through here.
Here's Rosano to Stone. Outside looking for Godoy. He'll get it. Good move, Godoy. Drills into the box. A little too much there, Rosano. And you can still see he's hobbling. He is not 100%. He'll get to that ball and find Schindler. He'll have a wild effort there, and that sails way wide. Jake Schindler's 9th appearance of the season. Throw coming up here for Greater Binghamton FC. At what time does Doug Miller check into the match? We're 17 minutes in.
I think it's got to be in the second half. I don't think Doug wants to come in and then get substituted. So I think you're probably looking 60, 65 minutes maybe. Let's see how this match goes. Obviously, if the Binghamton continues to lead, maybe we might see him sooner.
Fernandez to Godoy. Nobody with their nose in front of the goal at the 6. Easy save for Corey Swarthout, the Corning Community College product. He's going to slow things down. Andrew mentioned these two teams tomorrow make the trip down to Binghamton to wrap up the 2-game season series. Good boot. 3/4 of the field from Swarthout. It's Toby.
Wow, that's a veteran play from Toby. He just waited. The big forward for Binghamton came down, and Toby just took his time, won the ball on the ground, and just started the ball back up the other side of the field.
It's Godoy with it on the other side of the field to Ben Allen. Schindler again playing a little higher here today. Lucas Fernandez. For DiLorenzo, can he get a toe poke on it? He couldn't. And then couldn't turn the hips to serve it back into the box.
Good run there from DiLorenzo, just a little bit anxious. He should have taken his time a little more there, but at least got a foot on, forced the goalie to make a save. But Joe, I'm already noticing the Binghamton players are starting to put their hands on their hips. You wonder if they are getting tired already. I mean, even the big guy, Ospititan, or however you pronounce it, number 25, he was already looking like he was gassed.
They've got a full complement of substitutions, 7 on the trip here.
I think we'll be seeing all 7
I
of
think
them in
so.
this match today. Give these guys a lot of credit because it's extreme. Soccer is not meant to be played in 95-degree weather. It's simply, that's why it's a winter sport in every other country in the world except the United States and Canada.
103 with the heat index today.
It just takes so much out of you as a player. I mean, again, I give the women even more credit because they're not used to this either. So they played, the Flash and the Lancer ladies played a great match earlier today. And
Flash with a 2-1 win in that game. As here come Binghamton once again. Knocked away by Harling. In that game, it was Carissima Catrona with the 2 goals in that 2-1 win for Western New York. If you go back to last season, she has scored 6 goals over the past 2 seasons against the Lady Lancers. She has been a thorn in the side.
That's Eddie Sabrango territory.
Yes. You remember those days?
I remember that. For those of you who don't know, Eddie Sabrango played for the Rochester Rhinos, was traded to Montreal, and he would score a goal every single time the Lancers played, or the Rhinos played the Montreal Impact. Inevitably.
I can remember saying those exact words, a thorn in the side. Another deflected shot, this one coming off the foot of Alex Lewis. And Le Petit is going to take a look at his defense and say, guys, Help me out here.
You got to close down those shooters. In the game, the Argentina match today, Angel Di Maria scored an unbelievable goal from 30 yards. The French defense did not close in on him. They let him able to get lined up and get a shot off. Guys of that caliber, even guys of this caliber, you give them room from 25 yards, they can put a shot on goal and beat the goalie.
Alex Lewis had some time to tee that one up. Here's the corner kick, headed away by Will Stone. Picked up by Lewis, who had that rocket just moments ago. Calvo. Toby clears it away to Stone. Got Fernandez making a run. Can he get it to him? Right down the middle. Fernandez 1v2, heads it outside. It's obstructed. No call made. Referee waves it off. Charles Murphy, the man in the middle today.
You know, this is Doug Miller-like offense for the Lancers. Yeah. Where back in the day for the Rhinos, they would always try to free up Miller against 1v2 against defenders, just like that, who will come up too high. That's what the Lancers are trying to do here, because Binghamton, again, playing that very high line.
The 1-2 broken up, looking for Stone off of Schindler. Picked up again by Isaac Pestel. And I've got to be honest, coming into this one, I expected a lot less from Binghamton 21 minutes in. They have surprised just a bit here.
You know, the Lancers come in knowing they've got to score a lot of goals against the last place team in the league. Team hasn't won a game at all this season. And you wonder, you know, the mentality of the team. Coming in and it's extremely hot. Your body doesn't do things like it normally does when you're playing in effectively 110 degrees on the field. So far, Binghamton has handled the heat much better than the Lancers have. And we'll see if the Lancers can make some adjustments here to try to get some more attacks going and get the goals they need.
There's Godoy dropping all the way back to receive it and start the attack. Ben Allen. Alex Harling. Rosano. Back to Harling. Lancers keeping possession, working the ball around. Schindler. Going to open it up to the other side. Nope, come back this way to Harling, who's got some space. No one there on the end of it. Miscommunication from Rosano and Harling, and I think Rosano wanted a call.
Right now, this game is being played at Binghamton's pace, Joe. They want to slow this game down, just play the possession game, try to keep the ball. They don't want the Lancers running at them, and so far they've been the better team in this game.
This is up and over everybody. Toby and Harling will start the attack again for the Lancers. Godoy dropping way back to receive the ball. We'll see if he can push up a little higher, get involved in the attack. Crawford. Schindler way up now. Chest on the knees. Gets it back. Off the hand of Adam Nichols. Dangerous. Maybe a restart could be what the doctor ordered here for the Lancers.
As Mr. Lalas says, set piece, set piece, set piece. 50 goals in the World Cup have been scored on set pieces. This is where you get your offense going. This is a chance for the Lancers to get on the scoreboard here. They're going to bring the big guys up. Binghamton pulling everybody back except Steed, who's the speedster up top.
It's Godoy's delivery. It's a low one, not even over the first player.
You got to get the ball over the first defender. Any free kick. Lancers still with it, though.
Another chance, and this is a better ball. Top of the six, Fernandez couldn't get it to sit, and it's pounded away by Binghamton. Le Petit. Will come way out of the 18 to get it to Toby. Harling, Binghamton really dropping back now in a shell.
I would. I'd try to hold a 1-0 lead if I was Binghamton.
Is it too soon? We shall see.
Well, so far the Lancers have not proven they can make the offense work playing the Barcelona, Brazil type style. They like to run at people. They like to get the defenders on their heels, and so far Binghamton has not allowed that to happen, but here they come again.
Fernandez right down the gut. Still Fernandez gets around one. And
that's a red card. That should be a red card.
He's reaching for the pocket.
That should be a red card. That was last man back.
Nope. He's going to go yellow.
Wow. I'd love to see that again.
A big break. Well, if we had a replay machine, you could see it.
If I had my computer, we're about a minute behind, so I was getting to see it then. But anyway, that certainly looked like last man back. That should have been a red, in my opinion.
It's Brian Jackson who gets the yellow card in the 25th minute. Another set piece opportunity from a perfect spot.
And there, Joe, there's a case where if there was VAR, that would definitely have been reviewed because that certainly looked like it was last man back. And that's one of the things you can review, yellow versus red, on a situation like that.
Fernandez, Godoy, Stone. Over the ball with Schindler as well. Who will do the honors? The Lancers trailing 1-0. We're in the 25th minute.
As they say, something off the training ground, and as I would have expected, the Lancers are going to put somebody on the end of that wall. It's Rosano, looking for him to peel off the wall to make room for the ball to get through. See how if the defense is positioned properly.
Fernandez delivers the shot, and it's in! No chance at all for Swarthout as he watched that one sail in, and a goal for Lucas Fernandez. 4th of the year.
And you wonder, Joe, if the Binghamton goalkeeper was expecting the ball to go to the other side where Rosano was. Fernandez crossed him up, went near post, and no chance for the keeper. And the Lancers are back in the game.
And we will take a hydration break on the field and in the press box as the Lancers tie it up at 1 at Marina Auto Stadium.
Taking a hydration break with the very warm weather today. Players will take a break here, get some cold water. You have an opportunity to cool off also. Make your way towards concession stands. Of course, cold drinks available at the concession stands. And once again, cooling stations are available in suites number 13 and 14. So fans, if you need to cool off, of course, grab something cold to drink. Maybe grab some shade or head up towards suites 13 and 14. Those are open for your cooling. Once again, brought to you by your Lancers and Marina Auto Stadium. The time taken here in the hydration break will be added into stoppage time at the end of the half.
The hydration break is over. The Lancers go to the break with a little bounce in their step. What a goal from Fernandez.
And again, off the training ground, and you wonder if Fernandez, was that something he decided on his own to go near post, or was it something that was planned? Because it definitely was the plan. The goalie was just completely fooled. And again, that's why a goalie who's a community college goalkeeper, not a lot of experience, I think that Fernandez, who plays Division I, took advantage of that. And the Lancers are back in the game, 1-1 here at Marina Auto Stadium in the 29th minute.
Now, do the floodgates open for the Lancers against FC Binghamton, or Greater Binghamton FC, I should say.
As much as that goal was important, Joe, the bigger importance would be that the referee did not red card on that foul, because it looked like it was last man back.
I agree with you. It was Brian Jackson who luckily walked away with just a yellow card back in the 25th minute that led to that free kick opportunity. We are tied at 1. Steed in the 13th minute. Fernandez in the 26th. What a season Lucas Fernandez is having, as he's going to head back to Temple University. And he will be in fine form. Churchville Chi-Li graduate.
Looking for a career in professional soccer at some point.
A lot of buzz over the years. He's had trials in England and several other places, so I'm sure that's going to be on the agenda for him once he picks up his degree. And it's a perfect situation to be in. You've got your education to fall back on. Pursue the professional career. Why not?
As soon as we talk nice about him, he makes a bad pass.
Enough
Never
of it.
fails.
No more, Lucas. Swarthout slowly just eating away at the clock. The 0-9 Greater Binghamton FC side, 55 goals against now. They're tied at 1. Very respectable effort so far here in Rochester.
And it's some bad luck, too, for the Lancers getting Binghamton at the end of the season when they're playing better as opposed to Cleveland and Erie, who have this massive positive goal difference because they were able to take advantage of the early struggles this team had to score those double-digit wins.
Back to back. Alex Lewis. Cheek Koulibaly. Koulibaly stood up there by Harling. Lisberto Calvo. Right-footed shot. And Le Petit arms out in the air saying, hey, come on, step up. You mentioned that before. They're not closing down.
Absolutely. And I was looking at the Binghamton back line. The entire back line was in the Rhinos half, or the Lancers half. Sorry.
That's all right.
I'm sure you did that too.
Many times.
So if Le Petit had gotten that ball and could have released Fernandez or Stone, they would have been onside because they would have started on their own half of the field. There was a goal scored in the World Cup like that too. If you're on your own side of midfield, you can't be offsides. And again, these Binghamton backs are big. You know how fast they are. We'll see if that comes to play at some point in this game.
Lancers are going to go to the bench. 31st minute, Glenn Holmes walking over to the fourth official. He's going to replace Ben Allen, is what we're being told. It'll be the first change for the Lancers. Rosano, he's definitely laboring through that groin injury. They'll try to help out Stone. On the near side, Will Stone.
What a tough character Rosano is.
Stone into the 18. Off his chest. Di Lorenzo shot punched away from Swarthout. And they'll work it onto the far side. And a goal kick coming up here. Close one for the Lancers.
Swarthout with a huge save there on Di Lorenzo. Ball broke for him. He was right on the doorstep. Just had to beat the keeper, but he came up with a huge save to keep this match 1-1, and now we'll see the substitution.
32nd minute, Glenn Holmes will come on, his 10th appearance of the season. And he's trying to get the attention of Ben Allen. Schindler was coming over, and they said, no, not you. Allen off, Holmes on in the 32nd minute.
And for those of you new to NPSL, there's a lot of substitutions allowed. So it's an advantage in a game in this situation where you have such horrible heat conditions. A lot of guys are going to be coming in, keep the legs fresh, so nobody gets, dehydrated or worse. We don't want to see any players
The only
going down.
disadvantage is for me, I don't have enough lines on my stat sheet. I've got to change it.
Well, blame U.S. Soccer.
Just over midfield, throwing for Binghamton. Make their home at Visions Field in Binghamton, New York.
Where is Visions Field?
Good question. When I drive down through there at the middle of August, I'll let you know.
Okay. Might be a little late then.
We'll know for next season. We're tied at 1, 33rd minute. Holmes, first touch on the ball. Pressured immediately. Gets it to Harling. Godoy. Far side, Schindler way up top. What's he doing up there? Pastel marks him. Schindler leaning in, using those strong shoulders to keep possession. Plays it back to Godoy. Holmes. Punched forward. Sipitan. Can't keep possession. Doug Miller rostered for today. Got a huge round of applause if he comes on. Good ball. Rosano. Deflected on the cross. Knocked away by Lewis. Schindler, look at the space and time he's got to settle. Winds up. Fires! Goal! Jake Schindler, you knew he was going to unleash a rocket, and he just walks away after hammering home his first goal.
Joe, you asked earlier, what's Jake Schindler doing up there? Well, now you just got your answer. And again, same thing as we said before. The defender did not close down Jake Schindler. And, boy, he just got every ounce of power behind that ball, rocketing it into the corner of the net. No chance for the keeper. And the Lancers take a 2-1 lead in the 35th minute.
That first touch, you could see the space he had, the way the ball fell for him, and you knew he was going to unleash a cannon. His first of the year. Great goal from Jake Schindler.
And now you wonder, Joe, Binghamton, if they get another goal scored against them, what is the mental game going to be like? You're out here and it's 110 degrees on the field. You've lost every game you've played this season. How much energy is Binghamton going to have going forward?
Steed with a two-hand shove taking down Rosano. Lancers will look to hammer home that point. Godoy. Poked away by Lewis. Calvo. Osipitan. Onto the near side. Koulibaly stopped his run. May have had a chance for it, but
I don't think Mbappe could have even gotten to that ball.
We're going to make another change today, Andrew. Kissie's going to be coming out here late in this first half.
And there's a guy who knows how to put the ball in the back of the net, the former Rochester Rhino player, the professional player who now is an amateur because he is a registered RN and doing great things in our community. But he's scored goals for the Lancers, and the Lancers need goals. And, the floodgates could open. Just going back in the day, I remember there's a game Spain had to win by 10 goals to get into the European Championships. And they were up 3-1 at halftime. They ended up winning 12-1.
Oh, gosh, unbelievable.
And that game wasn't fixed.
Now, offside flag comes up, and this will give us a chance to bring on Mr. Kissy in the 36th minute. He's going to replace Peter DiLorenzo. He had a few opportunities, DiLorenzo, didn't he?
He did. He had some good chances, just couldn't control that final ball. And the one good chance he had was saved well by the keeper.
DiLorenzo, his 6th appearance of the season. He's off now in the 36th minute. Isaac Kissy, 5 games played, 3 goals, 2 assists on the year for Doug Miller's Lancers.
Sure, DiLorenzo's not happy coming out, but this is a game where you've got to manage your players. And already you can see the Binghamton players, one of them is getting a cramp taken care of. You've got to stay hydrated in conditions like this, or some bad things can happen. You feel for these guys out there playing in this kind of heat, and you just got to take care of yourself, play within yourself, and if you need water, you got to get water.
Connor Bain is the player who's taken off the warm-up top, and
I think the referee this is giving basically a pseudo second water break because of the cramp stoppage there.
38th minute, and we'll see if it is Bain who is coming on for, I believe it's Lewis, the player who's just getting up now.
It's Lee, I believe. If I got your numbers right here,
Mark
Joe.
Lee.
Mark Lee, 24.
He's working his way over, and
you got their numbers right at the top of their jersey, which is nice.
Very
you can
nice.
See it very easily.
The red with the white, very, very helpful.
It was a little tough to see the flash numbers today, red on black.
Changes coming fast and furious. Lancers are going to make a change as well. So we'll see if Mark Lee does come off.
Looks like he's going to stay on, Joe. I think he's just had to get that cramp taken care of. That really hurts. If you've never had a cramp like in your calf, it is so painful. You just got to work through it, and usually it just takes a few minutes, and somebody can get it out for you. But boy, you're in agony.
Binghamton will play with one less for a few moments here as the referees, or the 4th official, keeping a close eye and gives him a little shove back onto the field. Lee is still onto the field, so Bain has not come on yet.
So Finn will be coming on
Good
for the
step from
Lancers.
Toby. Kissy's first touch. Looking for Fernandez.
Ooh.
And that's a little clip from behind. Not sure why he even did that. Bad choice there by Jackson.
Another set piece opportunity for the Lancers. We look for a ball right near the penalty spot here from Lucas Fernandez. See if we can get Kissy or Stone to run onto it.
Fernandez has had some magic a few minutes ago in the 26th. He'll have another chance now to be a helper on this one. Tim Crawford's going to be coming off for Finn. Goes short to Schindler. Does Jake want to have another one? Nope. He'll play it safe to Fernandez. He'll rip one in, and he caught the keeper cheating. He almost got him.
If he just had a little more power on that ball, it would have been 2 goals for Fernandez.
What awareness for Fernandez.
That's
Wow.
great, just great vision from the Lancers number 11. You can see he looked up, saw the keeper cheating to his left, and the right side of the goal was wide open. If he just put a little more power on it, it would have been 3-1 Lancers.
Crafty play from Lucas Fernandez. Skadoy, little toe poke to Schindler. Holmes.
It took about 15 minutes, but Lancers are now in control of the play in this match. We'll see how many opportunities they can get before halftime.
Stone gets through him. Swarthout will scoop it up. August Finn waiting to come on for Tim Crawford. That'll be the 3rd change for the Lancers. Binghamton, no changes yet. High punt just up over midfield. Flicked on. Toby will shield off the Binghamton striker, and Le Petit will scoop it up.
So Lancers play Binghamton tomorrow down in the Southern Tier. And then the final home match will be next Saturday right here at Marine Auto Stadium against the Fort Pitt Regiment, who the Lancers beat earlier this year.
And you said it tomorrow, even warmer than today.
Oh, I mean, if it's a grass field, though, it won't be so bad. The turf definitely adds 5 to 10 degrees to the conditions.
Kissy battling with Koulibaly. Plays it back to Schindler. Rosano. Just a poor clearance. Schindler can tee it up again. He'll go for a chip. Good ball to Kissy off the chest. Just couldn't get that massive turn and strike at the top of the 18. A la Giorgio Chinaglia.
We were talking about Giorgio Chinaglia in the Wall of Fame ceremony, that the original Lancers brought in such incredible, talented and famous players like Chinaglia and Beckenbauer, Pelé, Gerd Muller, Johan Cruyff. I mean, it was growing up watching them. It was just a pleasure and a privilege, because we were one of the smallest teams in the NASL, and nobody wanted to play in Rochester because we had some of the best fans, and it was like a fortress, Hollander Stadium. It was very, very difficult to play, even though Beckenbauer called it a potato patch.
Rabid fans.
Yeah,
At
exactly.
Hollander Stadium. I asked Roberto Leonardo, one of the Lancer legends, who was one of the toughest forwards you had to mark, and he said Giorgio Chinaglia, because usually it's defenders dishing out the beatings to the forwards. He said Chinaglia would do it before you could get to him.
It's big and strong.
Yeah.
By the way, congratulations to Roberto Leonardo. His Uruguay team will be in the quarterfinals against France in the World Cup.
Sure is a very happy man in Las Vegas.
Oh, yes.
Harling. And finally, Koulibaly, after 3 pokes, gets it away, but not very far. Rosano, swerving ball. Kissy off the chest. He's going for the bike. No. I thought the leg was coming up.
Bike or the scissors,
There's
one of the
something.
two. You can see him lining that up, but defense again for Binghamton doing their job.
We may see some creative goals here. Lancers kind of feeling that groove right now.
43rd minute, Binghamton's going to make their first substitution in just a moment.
Wide open. Stone, the shot up and over the bar. Should have done better there, but the flag is up for offside.
Connor Bain coming in for the Greater Binghamton FC Thunder.
He will take out Lee, who was the player who was suffering from cramps a few moments ago. 43rd minute, first change for Al Medlinski's side.
They've given a good account of themselves this first half. Lancers have been in control of this part of the game, but again, still holding that just down 2-1. Anything can still happen.
Has this been a long half, or is it just me? The water break, the
I thought it went
injury
by
break?
fast.
Really?
Maybe because I'm enjoying your company so much.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the breaks have really kind of slowed with
You
the
got to
tempo.
expect there's going to be at least 5 minutes of stoppage time. No, they're saying 3, I guess.
Yeah, that's not enough, is it?
Well, he had the water break, which was it's supposed to be 90 seconds, but it never is. And then the cramp stop, which was at least a couple minutes.
Speed in the corner.
Yep.
44th minute. Quick throw into Koulibaly. Osipitan trying to turn. Calvo whiffs on it. Whoosh. Lancers coming forward. Stone to Fernandez.
So you're not going to see Kesey outrun people usually. He's a stronger type forward. Here you see
Change coming up here for the Greater Binghamton side. Enai Luro is going to be replacing number 19, Alex Lewis. Rosano, top of the 18. Good slide tackle. And a good finishing job there from Koulibaly.
Rosano a little frustrated there. He knew he could have done better, but Koulibaly with some great. He's been I think the best player so far for Binghamton. He's been up and down the field on the offense and defensive end, doing a fine job.
We've called his name a few times here this afternoon. I told Rosano during the broadcast for the women's game, you better score one, and I want to see a celebration that looks up to the booth. Osipitan poked away there by Toby. And Enai Luro will come on for Alex Lewis. 45th minute time of this Binghamton substitution. Second one of the game. Lancers have made 3, Binghamton 2.
Lancers out shooting Binghamton 8-5 so far. 6 saves on the board for Swarthout. He's made a couple big ones to keep it at 2-1.
Thrown in the box, one hop, and at the corner post, at the near post, is James Lepetit. Played at Barton Community College.
Haven't called his name in a long time in this match. He hasn't had much to do in the second part of this first half.
The way goalies like it, isn't it?
I don't know. Well, wearing all black like that, I think he's probably burning up over there on that far side.
Rosano. Kissy and Stone in that same space. Unable to sort out that feed from Rosano. Throw in here for Jackson.
Gave Rosano a little clap there. He loved the ball, and he said it was his fault that it nothing came of it.
Esberto Calvo. Enai Luro. Connor Bain looking for Koulibaly. He slips, and Rosano will take possession. First half stoppage time. 13th minute goal gave Binghamton a 1-0 lead from Steed, and then it was Fernandez in the 26th. Schindler in the 34th. Lancers looking for more. Good
Great ball.
Stone into the 18. Little toe poke, and Swarthout gets the right hand on it.
Wow. Well, there's a chance for 3-1 right there. Stone knew he had him. And just, again, Swarthout has been great so far this half.
Godoy's not done yet. Still Godoy. In front. Oh, a good tackle from Pastel.
And he's hurt.
He landed awkward on his wrist, and Kissy's calling for help immediately.
Well, Kissy's a nurse by trade, so he knows. Yeah, he looks like he definitely has an arm. He's in agony. You think he may have fallen on the turf, and hopefully he didn't break anything.
It could even be a burn.
Potentially, but
a severe rug burn. With the black pellets. Oh, it's holding his wrist.
Yeah, it looks like it's a potential. Could be a sprain or a break there. Well, that's going to extend our first half a little bit more here.
I told you it's dragging. Isaac Pastel is the player who's down. He's from Horseheads, New York. And now he's getting his wrist looked at by the trainer. And again, as Andrew said, this does push the half a little deeper, but a great goal-saving tackle from the defender for Binghamton.
The Lancers have had their chances to get multiple goals this half, but again, Swarthout and the defense of Greater Binghamton have done the job.
Pastel is up and on his feet. We'll see if he comes off.
He's
stay
holding
off the
that
field.
wrist very gingerly. He's not moving it at all.
Tough to tell. It happened so fast, but he did lean back towards that left side.
Wow. Well,
could be a finger injury. Maybe they'll just pop back into place.
Well, with the half almost done, he'll probably stay off the field. Lancers playing 11v10 right now.
Short corner kick. Is there time for one more push?
Oh, poor ball there, but Lancers still with a chance.
Rosano. Schindler. Fernandez. Some fancy footwork from Lucas Fernandez. Trying to avoid the challenge. Schindler. Deep in the corner. Keeps it in play. Back to Fernandez. Referee checks the watch. Pumps one into the box. Off the head of Jackson. And that'll bring half number one to a close. The Lancers come back to score 2 goals and take a 2-1 lead after 45 minutes of play. Soccer Sam will have a halftime interview recapping your scoring. Steed in the 13th minute. Fernandez in the 26th. And Schindler with an absolute bomb in the 34th minute. to give Rochester the 2-1 lead. Let's go down to the field and the one and only Soccer Sam.
Soccer Sam.
Soccer fans, Jake Schindler, Earthquake Jake, formerly Jake the Snake Schindler. One of the best goals I've seen in a long time, Jake. I know this game is extremely important to you. You grew up as a little kid, a huge fan of Doug Miller, and tonight you may have the opportunity to play on the same field with him.
Yeah, I don't know what's more surprising, playing with Doug or scoring a goal. So, no, I'm looking forward to it.
Jake, the conditions right now, my Samometer says it's 110 degrees out here. How is it playing out here in this field?
It's 110 degrees Celsius. I can't feel my body.
All right, go chill out there. Go take a quick shower. Adam Schwartz, interim head coach. Adam, what is going to happen? Is Doug going to play? I know his daughters want him to play. His wife wants him to play. He said he was like praying earlier. He went to a massage therapist. He went to a doctor to make sure he was okay. Is this going to happen?
Yes, it is going to happen, probably sooner than later. We just got to give him about 20 minutes to warm up in this heat.
All right, Adam, well, listen, you've done a lot in this community for soccer. It's an important win tonight. We need to make the playoffs, so this is an important win.
Yeah, in the second half, we've really got to go after them and get ahead and get a couple more goals, because this year we've made a habit of giving up leads, so we can't afford to do that.
All right, he's Adam Schwartz. We're going to talk to Doug Miller in a minute. Before the Lancer dancers go on, listen, John Catalano, I don't know where you are right now, John Catalano, but all you fans remember years ago, the Soccer Sam TV show, our producer was John Catalano. He was like this little kid producing the show. Well, tonight, for the first time ever, his daughter, Victoria, is a camera person here on the broadcast. So the camera person, Dennis, let's get Victoria on camera. Victoria Catalano, part of our Lancer family, second generation. Victoria, wave. Unbelievable, John. Take it away, Rocky. Soccer fans, he's tying his cleats for the first time ever here as a player on the stadium he built. Doug Miller. It's got to be an important moment for you tonight, being out here and an opportunity to possibly play second half.
Yeah, this is an exciting time. I mean, to play in a facility like this and to help the Lancers, keep going in the playoff run. I'm excited about doing it, and hopefully, I can get, Adam will put me in for a few minutes.
49 years old, one of the all-time leading scorers for the Lancers indoor team, the Rhinos, and the Buffalo Blizzard. Dude, these fans just can't wait to see you get on the pitch. People are coming to you. Is he going to play? What's going on? When's he going to play? Is it going to happen for sure?
Yeah, it's definitely going to happen. It's just a matter of what time and point of the game. As the game starts to slow down, add some energy to it and some good runs, and hopefully score a couple goals.
All right, we got a contract over there. You score a goal, who knows what'll happen? Doug Miller, the living legend of Rochester soccer. Come on, give me a standing ovation. This guy deserves a standing ovation. He has done so much. This stadium wouldn't have been built without the guys on the street at Frontier Field. Let's hear it for Doug Miller. Dougie baby. Standing ovation, man.
Yep, but we're also going to do this. Over here is on this side.
Oh,
is
yeah,
this
the
filter. Yeah, we're going to change this to 3 because the lights changed a little bit. And I did a white balance on. I probably can't now. I tried to do a white on that table. Let's do that same thing. You remember the part where you hit like the cross there where they hit?
Fans, don't forget the Lancers players and the dancers will be having a meet and greet following the match. Head over to the Salvatore's event tent following the game. And of course, the meet and greet brought to you by Rochester Photography.
Yep.
Get your 50-50 raffle tickets to the Good Days. Find those at the merchandise booth. We're going to be announcing that winner right around the 75-minute mark. Okay, are you looking for that perfect burger for the summer? Almost Market has hand-breaded patties for any size bun. Light up your grill with the certified Angus beef ridiculous burger made with prime rib, brisket, and sirloin. Almost Market is located in Henrietta at 900 Jefferson Road in the Regional Valley Market. Stop by for your summertime grilling needs. NPSL, the National Premier Soccer League, is the largest organized men's soccer league in the United States, with over 100 teams competing across the country. For more information, visit npsl.com. Fans, don't forget to join the Lancers for the final home game on Saturday, July 7th. It's another doubleheader with the Lady Lancers, 2 p.m. as they take on the Lancaster Inferno. The men will be right here at 5, taking on Fort Pitt Regiment. That is Saturday, July 7th, for the final home game for your Lancers. Control, conserve, and create with BlueRockEnergy.com. Doug Miller Family Sports Park is the home of the Rochester Lancers Youth Academy and Glacier Ridge Snow Tubing Park, and the only indoor golf range here in Western New York. Visit DougMillerSoccer.com for more info. It's grilling time. Be sure to grab your Salad's Hops at a retailer near you. Salad's, quality products since 1869. And ladies and gentlemen, we send it down to the main stage underneath the Salvatore's event tent. Once again, here is John Phil.
How are you?
How are you? How are you? Good to see you. Watch the rest of this. What do you want? Right. Something about alignment we didn't know at the time. So elastic, all of a sudden you go over something as elastic as it should be.
Listen, I noticed it even playing golf. My rotations, nothing. Straight out.
Sorry, did I embarrass you?
Sam, why don't you come on tour the second half?
Can't do. I'm struggling. I used to come to your house before you even born.
Johnny!
And then when you were
Michael
born,
Lewis
your mom
is
used to
gonna
make me
step in for
something called white trash or something.
Whatever
And
they
I
want to
gained
do.
up 100 pounds. I didn't even show. You used to come to your house, and I watched you guys go, you were born, I don't know if you remember, you're probably too little, but we used to come and edit at night, and I like a night at your house.
That's
For
why I
years.
like working with you and Andrew. You guys
You know,
are
it's kind of cool.
well.
For years.
I could say,
Yeah. It was the old house. Yeah, it was the old house. Yeah. Straight off of Binghamton Road. And then to see you up here doing it, it's kind of like, wow. It kind of makes me feel really old, but it makes me feel cool how the tradition continues. But thank you for being here.
Good luck with school and good luck with baseball.
Thank you.
Yeah, good.
No, having your dates and direction, I was going to say it was 5, and then they expired these and try to save them. I got this. No, maybe that's what they saved them.
My pass. Yeah.
He was supposed to be there, right?
I don't know, but
He was supposed to take care of it, but
it's fine.
Dennis, thank you. Thank you for listening, by the way.
Hey, John, whenever you're ready.
Andrew, thank you.
was covering the team for the Rochester Lancers about this conflict I knew nothing about. We didn't have internet at the time, so you couldn't look it up that easily. But it gave me a hell of an education of what was happening there. And about a decade before it happened. And if it gave me an education, it probably gave everyone else in Rochester and Toronto an education, too.
It just gave me an education about the Lancers actually playing at the baseball stadium. I never knew that.
Like I said,
Thank you.
You're welcome. My pleasure. I mean, I have to admit, I did see the Rhinos play at Fowler Stadium when their first game there. I came back in 1996. I feel like I'm like a I have to come back and for big events and that sort of thing.
That's
like a
Michael
salmon
Lewis,
going upstream. I'm sorry if I'm getting in the way of the action.
The Rochester
on the field.
soccer historian, Michael Lewis.
But
between you and Andrew Battisti, every inch, every ounce of soccer history is covered.
What I've forgotten, he knows, and vice versa. And we know a lot that overlaps, but it's good to have people who remember things like that. Even though I understand today's society, it's about what's happening now and maybe what happened 5 minutes ago, but you learn about yourself and your people from history, too.
And take a look down to the fourth official. Look who is strolling over to come out of retirement once again, none other than number 19, Doug Miller. The legend gets the opportunity to play on the field that he, there's a chance here. We'll talk about that in a minute. Osipitan, top of the 18.
Nice
And
play.
good job by Finn to hustle back. Doug created so much excitement in this community. It's fitting that he gets the opportunity to run on to the soccer-specific pitch here at Marina Auto Stadium. As he has checked in and waiting for the proper time to come on. Doug Miller, so many great goals over the years. 49 years old. The coach, I guess now player coach of the Rochester Lancers.
Exactly, and and he's coming in. This is window dressing now. He's got to help and the team pump up its attack.
Corner kick cleared away by Godoy. Up to Kissy. Card steps in front of him. Ladies and gentlemen, out of retirement, once again, the soccer legend, number 19, Doug Miller, replacing number 23, Alex Harling. He enters the match in the 52nd minute. It was historic when he did it on the indoor side. He gets a big hug from Harling. And Doug Miller taking the pitch at Marina Auto Stadium for the first time. Wishing him nothing but the best. Gets a nice round of applause as he replaces Harling in the 53rd minute. Or 52nd, correct. Stone. Miller's in front. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? His first touch, and he finds the back of the net. It is Miller time once again. Unbelievable.
You can't write a script like this. You really, really can't. I mean, I guess you can, but people would think that, what are you, crazy? I hope to see this on the local news tonight, all of these highlights, because people can't believe it. Look, got a couple of players bowing down to him there on the field.
Less than 60 seconds. Doug Miller puts one in the back of the net to make it 3-1. You've got to be kidding me.
Incredible but true. That's what I used to write about the Lancers way back in the day, and another incredible but true moment here.
And he gets a yellow card for the celebration. Yep. He'll take it though. Why not? I'm 49 years old, coming out of retirement again.
Yeah, the problem is you're not allowed to pull up your shirt. I think they do it because a lot of players, for political reasons, you might have some sort of statement. I think Doug was just so happy to do what he achieved.
Unbelievable. I'm still in shock. I thought he might score, but maybe 10 or 15 minutes after getting a feel for the game, a few touches, but nope, he'll do it right away instead. What would you expect from Doug Miller? Here he goes again on the far side. Miller cuts it, and foul called as he takes down Koulibaly, and this look of a chance for another substitution to come on. Jacob Duell will be coming on in the 54th minute.
The thing
They're
is,
going to hold off on that change.
the thing now is he spoiled us. Now we expect a goal every time he touches the ball. Tough act to follow himself.
Miller time has returned to Rochester. If you've got the time, he's got a goal. And there's a foul called. It's Luro called for the foul. Number 7 is Jacob Duell. This is the 4th change. He's going to take out Cheek Koulibaly. That's a great name. Koulibaly off. This is in the 55th minute officially. 4th change of the game for Al Medlinski and Greater Binghamton.
You know, I like to write down seconds, not just the minutes. According to this, and I could be off by a couple seconds here, 24 seconds after he went onto the field. Again, give or take a few seconds. This is an old habit I had from the old
It's
NASL
a good habit.
days.
Good habit.
For reasons like this. And again, officially someone will probably say, no, it's 22 seconds or 26 seconds, whatever. But it gives you an idea of how quickly he made his presence.
I'm with you. 24 seconds. Sensational. And going back to the Rhino days or the Lancer indoor days, calling a game with Doug Miller. Expect the unexpected. It's going to be exciting. And he's done it once again, the 49-year-old. Hats off to Doug. Little touch back to Finn. Now forward for Stone, battling with Junior Koulibaly. This one ends up to Swarthout. And he just stood there, arms up. I think he was in shock as well. The Binghamton keeper. 3-1 Lancers lead. We're in the 56th minute. Foul called on Fernandez.
You know, as a writer, I'm there to report, but as a human being and a person, I want to be amazed. I want to be entertained as well, too. I think that helps me write a story, and obviously the story writes itself more than any other thing, and I would like to say you have to go out of your way to spoil a story like this. You just let it tell itself more than anything else.
Another change was made. It was Binghamton bringing on Bridger and replacing a shot here, and this one is into the net. Osipitan somehow snuck that underneath Le Petit, and Binghamton not out of this one yet in the 57th minute. They're within one. Osipitan has Binghamton now just within one of the Lancers. Quick change was made, and the goal scored in the 57th minute. And Andrew had mentioned it in the first half, 103 degrees with the heat index.
Wow.
Could be a lot of goals here in this second half as things loosen up and players start to show that fatigue. Bridger did come on for Nichols. That was in the 56th minute. Dylan Bridger, number 16, now on. I didn't have Steed for that one, but we'll see if we can double check that. I thought it was Osipitan, number 25 with the goal. Finn, taken away by Calvo, and a little swipe there will be coming up as a foul against the Lancers. Michael, World Cup, I was telling Andrew during that first half, USA, my beloved Italy not qualifying. My bar was lowered, but I was quite surprised and quite entertained so far.
So have I. You know, you can't ask for anything more, except for maybe more great games, great goals, close games, and have some of the stars do well. Unfortunately, today you had two of the greatest stars of today. Well, not of the greatest, Messi and Ronaldo eliminated. But you know, I like to say for every time a door closes, one opens, and we're going to have some new stars emerging from this game. Listen, no matter what they do, Messi and Ronaldo, their legacy is secure, although it would have been nice to have seen them go a little deeper. I would have liked to have seen what Ronaldo could have done in terms of scoring, but that's life.
And what about Diego Maradona and the antics? Scripted, stage? Because I believe, what is it, a book or a movie coming out about his life? Because he has just been over the top.
Yeah, definitely. I think would not be surprised if they were a bit scripted or staged. I've written about him because you have to, because he's part of the show. He isn't the show. The show is what's happening on the field, but he likes to do things on purpose, not necessarily with a purpose. I remember at the 2006 World Cup, I think it was the Germany-Costa Rica opener in Germany, and he was smoking in the stadium and smoking this giant cigar.
Oh, he's had a couple of this tournament as well.
I mean, he wasn't supposed to. There's no smoking in the stadium.
He's been allowed to smoke at this World Cup as well.
I missed that.
They had him with a cigar, yeah.
Jeez. And, let's get back to the game.
We'll get back to Kissy. We'll talk about Maradona momentarily because Doug Miller wants another goal. Stone. Can Stone set up Miller again? Service into the box. Headed away back to the top of the 18. Settled nicely by Fernandez. Chips in Kissy. Still Kissy taken down in the box. And the flag comes up for offside. I think Kissy was looking to the spot. But the referee's assistant on this near side, David Rousseau, had made the call earlier. Greater Binghamton not out of this one yet. 3-2. A team that had given up 54 goals coming into this one, hanging around here in Rochester. Rosano. Miller. Back to Rosano. Flag up again for offside. Restart coming up here for Greater Binghamton. These two teams will travel tomorrow to Binghamton, Visions Field, and kick off once again to wrap up the season series.
I know we're talking about Doug Miller scoring, coming off the bench, playing, scoring a goal. Lancers needing lots of goals. First things first, just got to secure the win and with a few goals, or either that or their playoff chances are going to be slim and none. And that's their challenge right now, the rest of the game, to manage it. You don't want to have Doug Miller being a distraction. I'm not saying he is, but it's like one of those things. You can't keep setting him up. And you could tell that he's passing the ball as well, too. But
sure.
The big thing is, worry about winning out first.
Keep the rhythm of the game going. Because Binghamton is still knocking on the door. Right down the middle, Finn has to hurry back. Plays it to Le Petit, the happy Frenchman. Forward to Kissy. It's got Stone. Cuts inside instead. Kissy. Back outside to Stone. Stone pushes into the 18. Crosses to Miller. No, nobody on the end of that one. Doug was coming back up towards the top of the 6. That one went through. Throwing on the far side, 62nd minute. Goals in the 52nd for the Lancers, Doug Miller, 57th. Osipitan for Greater Binghamton. Luro. Fernandez, the battle of number 11s. Fernandez wins it. Schindler, one of the goal scorers. Finds Holmes. Shifty move inside. Stone can turn with space. He does. Stone looking to get to the left foot. Right behind Godoy. But Godoy hustles to win it back. Miller turns, fires right at the keeper. Deja vu. The diagonal run from Miller and the quick spin on the shot from Doug Miller. Taking me back to the late 90s. There's Rosano. He's doing well with that hamstring injury, battling through it. Plays it to Holmes, now to Finn. Nice ball for Kissy. Can he settle it? Does inside the 18.
Oh.
Calvo. No one there. Schindler. An absolute rocket in the 34th minute. No connection there for Doug Miller. Schindler gets another chance. He finds Stone this time. Flag is up for offside. Several here in the second half for the Lancers.
Getting a little antsy there.
3-2, the score. The Lancers with a slim lead. Hope you're enjoying today's coverage on YouTube. Game produced by John Catalano, Joe Giuliano, along with Andrew Battisti and Michael Lewis from FrontRowSoccer.com. How's the website doing?
It's very busy these days. Even though we're not covering the World Cup, I'm going to let the big websites worry about that. I try to write a column every day called Some World Cup Musings, just thoughts, some analysis, maybe some feature, that sort of thing coming off the top of my head. Because there's no way you could duplicate what everyone else is doing. Everyone else has an opinion as well, too, so I'll just throw my 2 cents in. But it's about covering local soccer, and not necessarily just the Red Bulls, NYCFC. It's Cosmos B, the Rochester Lancers. Believe it or not, we have a pretty decent following. We had a good following last year with the Rhinos. One thing you find out, if the team isn't getting local coverage in their media, people will find a way to read about their favorite team.
They want to find that information.
I mean, it's not as detailed as I'd always like it to be, but there's information out there.
You mentioned the Cosmos. How are my beloved Cosmos doing?
They are. Actually, it's the Cosmos B team, and they play in the National Premier Soccer League. Whoops, Freudian slip there.
I was going to put this on today, but I was like, you know what? It's a Lancer special day.
Yeah.
I can't wear my Cosmos
definitely,
gear. Keep it away.
They're leading their conference, the North Atlantic Conference, with an 8-0 record. They're odds-on favorite to win the title this year.
Oh, what a finish! Will Stone! He took it off the chest and out of the air. Just turns it up and over the keeper. He's got a goal and an assist. The Lancers stretch it out now in the 66th minute to make it 4-2. 5th goal of the year for Stone. And that was quality finishing from the Englishman.
What a wonderful goal. I mean, that is a highlight reel goal right there. Maybe someone should send part of this tape to ESPN Sports Center for a goal. At least nominate it
for top 10.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
we are taking a hydration break. We'll take a quick one as well. Will Stone sends us to the break with a beautiful goal to make it 4-2. We'll hydrate and come back in about 2 minutes. This is the Lancers Broadcast Network. Hydration break is over. This should be the final stretch. Lancers, Greater Binghamton, 4-2 the score. Will Stone with his 5th. And boy, was that a beauty. Off the chest, his back to the goal. And he just puts it up and over the keeper with the left foot. The big number 9 gives Rochester the 4-2 lead. Steed fouled. Restart here for Binghamton.
2 memorable goals for the Lancers tonight. One, the obvious one, 24 seconds after coming on, Doug Miller, and then that goal to remember, like I said, Sports Center. Whoever's on the other side of this, Sports Center, send it to Sports Center.
If our producer John Catalano can pull that clip, we'll talk about that in a second because Isaac Kissy is in now, top of the 18. Couldn't get the shot away. Koulibaly breaks it up. 66th minute was the time of that goal. Stone, handball, no call made. If our producer John Catalano can pull that clip from the 66th minute, we will send it on to Sports Center and make that a candidate for play of the day. Godoy going for that cheeky little touch, looking for someone to move in off of it. It's the third goal in the second half, 2 by the Lancers, 1 by Binghamton. So, Michael, what's next on the travel schedule for you?
Going home tomorrow, and then watching more World Cup stuff. Like many people, I cover soccer for a living, but like many people, not in Russia for the World Cup. Only a small contingent of American writers are there. You need a lot of people. You need a lot of money to cover a World Cup, but just trying to watch as many games as I can for professional reasons and for personal and enjoyment reasons. So I'm going to be staying home for a good portion of the month of July. There's plenty of soccer to be covered in the New York area between NYCFC, the Red Bulls, Cosmos B, and I'm probably forgetting a few others too.
Stone, Kissy the shot, and it's in the back of the net. It's getting fun for the Lancers now. Will Stone is setting the table, and he is finding points left and right. 71st minute, Isaac Kissy, his 4th of the season. And Stone's got a goal and 2 assists today. Kissy, a substitute, came out in the 36th minute. And he, calm and cool, just tucks that away. 5-2, the Lancers lead this one. Isaac Kissy from Will Stone in the 71st minute. And I have already run out of space on my score sheet. We'll have to go to a secondary sheet. 7 goals scored between the two clubs today.
And I don't think we're finished quite yet.
I agree with you, my friend.
I think what the Lancers are trying to do now, or have done, is wear down the Binghamton defense, and they're finding more and more open spots. And as the heat gets to a defender, it gets to a defender, I think, quicker than, let's say, an attacker, just because you've got the ball. It's no fun chasing it. And saying that, watch, now Binghamton will probably score on this break.
Steed looking for his second. Ooh, Toby and Le Petit collide. The ball comes loose. Referee's assistant had his flag up, and he's going to call a jersey tug on Steed, so it'll be no goal. No goal for Binghamton. Le Petit and Toby had a nasty collision. And this will give Binghamton a chance to make their 6th substitution, 73rd minute.
If there's anything good about the NPSL substitution rule, is on a day like this, getting players out of there, getting fresh legs out there as well too for both teams, because it's all about the player's health more than anything else.
Absolutely. And Steed, who thought he had another goal, is the player who's coming off in the 73rd minute for Garrity. Iman Garrity coming on, 6th change of the game for Greater Binghamton. Steed off, Garrity on in the 73rd. Le Petit will have the restart. Lancers are going to make another change here. And Michael, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time.
It's great always to be on with you. I know I've been on halftime with
always
you before
in
the indoor games, and it's great seeing you again, talking to you. I'll let Andrew take over now. I'm not trying to put too much pressure on him, but let's see how many goals he could conjure up now.
Does Miller have another one in him? Michael Lewis, always an open door. Thank you so much. You can check out his excellent, excellent work at frontrowsoccer.com. That's Michael Lewis, who is joining us here for a good portion of the second half. Andrew Battisti, welcome back. And you missed a bunch of goals there, didn't you? Oh, on the air at least, I should say.
Those are World Cup-like goals. All 5 of those goals by the Lancers today, every one of them was special. From the Fernandez free kick to Jake Schindler's bomb, Doug Miller scoring, and you knew he would. I mean, come on.
I didn't think that quick, though.
Oh, hey, Doug's got to work quick these days, you know? And then the great goal by Will Stone, Quinalia-esque, and then Isaac Kesey with a great goal. I mean, every goal's been great. 7 goals on the board today. Really great treat for all the fans. Lancers still looking for more goals, though, to try to close that goal difference gap.
They've brought on David Wright, the 24-year-old, replacing Anthony Rosano in the 74th minute. And we talked about Rosano. He's got that nagging hamstring injury. Valiant effort today as he has come off, and David Wright from Victor High School and Monroe Community College enters for his 3rd Lancer appearance of the season.
And Lancers obviously need a lot of goals, but if Cleveland SC gets a point today against Syracuse, it is all over officially. So we'll see what happens. That game played a little bit later this evening. Check on the NPSL website for the result. If Cleveland does get a point, then tomorrow's match doesn't have to be Lancers going for goals. It's just a matter of getting the victory and trying to get as high up in the standings as they can. If they can finish and tied for 2nd and lose on goal difference, you know, I think that's a successful year for the franchise. That improved on last year where they missed the playoffs by a point.
1 point, 6-4-2 on the year. They've already overcome their goal-scoring output last season, 18. They got 19 now. Will Stone was looking for his 2nd of the game. He's got a goal and 2 assists. He's had a fine performance this afternoon.
The Lancers have really played well. I think, again, given the conditions, both teams, I think, have put on a great show today for the fans. A lot more now. I think we're getting into some more technical soccer. We're seeing a lot of juggling, a lot of one-touch play, not a lot of sprints down the field, which is, again, a lot of fun for the fans to watch.
Into the box. It's behind Miller. Schindler laces him up, and that is off the mark.
That had the power, but didn't have the direction.
Not like that first one in minute 34.
Give credit to Jake. I tell you, he's getting on in age a little bit, but he's still going up and down the field, leading by example. The Lancers captain.
The 30-year-old mark is a tough one, isn't it?
I wouldn't know. I can't remember when I was 30.
It's been 20 years for me, my friend. Here's Kissy. Godoy, nice little pocket to work with. He comes forward. David Wright. And did he win a corner kick? Yes, he did. No, referee's assistant said out of bounds for a throw-in.
Okay, does David have the right stuff? That's the question.
Shoves off one challenge, gets it to Godoy. Schindler. 77th minute, Lancers 5. Binghamton 2. Stone, little poke and a diving save. Swarthout.
If it wasn't for Swarthout, it could be 7-8 goals for the Lancers. He's had 11 saves on the game today. Done a great job for Binghamton, keeping them in the match, even though the Lancers are now well in control with a 5-2 advantage.
He has seen a little bit of everything today. Cody Swarthout is going to see some more now as Kissy's coming forward into the 18. A look up, chip into the box, up and over the crowd. Duell forward now, Garrity. Cuts it back. Duell. Binghamton looking for an option. They're going to make another change. It'll be their 7th substitution of the match. It'll be Cody Green coming on for Osipitan. This change will come up now in the 78th minute.
So we got a very fast turnaround for both of these teams. I believe the game tomorrow is at 1 o'clock, if I remember right. I'll take a double check.
Take a look there, because I don't have that on my list in front of me.
I will check on my crack phone here. Let you know in just a second.
So Osipitan is off. Cody Green is on. That is the 7th, and that is it for Binghamton. No more substitutions available for them.
So if I was a defender, I wouldn't want to play against him. He's a big, big boy.
He sets up on the right side of defense. Kissy will march over there to go to battle. Long ball looking for Miller. Takes it off the chest. And the referee says, no, we're going to make that a handball. It may have just taken a little slide down the arm.
Doug's getting a bit frustrated. He's had a couple of offsides calls on him that he didn't seem to agree with. He is riding a yellow card here. We wouldn't want to see him do a Zidane here and get sent off in his final match.
Well, is it his final match?
Well, allegedly.
Allegedly. We've heard that before.
Yes, we have.
Austin Gerber is going to be coming on for the Lancers along with Gerber is going to replace Doug Miller, who will come off.
Wow.
After a few minutes of work, Miller coming off in the 80th minute. So Miller coming on in the 52nd minute gets a nice round of applause as he scored, according to Michael Lewis's accurate numbers, 24 seconds after coming onto the pitch. Doug Miller gets the goal, and he is off in the 80th minute for Austin Gerber.
And right now, that's the game-winning goal as we stand. It's the third goal of the match for the Lancers. So it will be Doug getting the game-winning goal and potentially his last match. But the match tomorrow will be 5 p.m. kickoff down in Binghamton. So again, 24-hour turnaround for both these teams. And there's going to be some tired bodies. They better all get in an ice bath after the game because...
Hey, the good thing, though, is it's going to be warmer tomorrow.
But again, as I said earlier...
The grass, right?
The grass. I'm going to take a look on Visions Field in Binghamton, see if I can find anything out about where it's located. In case anybody wants to make the drive down to Binghamton to support your Lancers.
81st minute, Frank Siliberto also coming on for Lucas Fernandez, who had a wonderful free kick goal in the 26th minute. Siliberto on, Fernandez off. That is the 7th substitution for Rochester. Gerber came on for Miller, Siliberto for Fernandez. Immediate pressure by Siliberto, and he wins it for the Lancers. Gets it to Schindler. Now Stone. Kissy. He's got Finn wide open, gets it to him. A little later than August wanted. Austin Gerber looking for that one. No luck. Garrity. David Wright, little pickpocket play. Little play on though. Calvo. Still Calvo. Knocks off one challenge and a harmless shot for Le Petit. Quickly rolls it out to Siliberto.
You want to make absolutely sure that it's about to a funny bounce there, a little in-between bounce, but got his body right in front of it and made the easy play.
Schindler. Finn. David Wright. 82nd minute. 5-2 Lancers lead. There's Kissy. Back and forth with Jake Schindler. Finn, Schindler battle to win possession back for Rochester. Here's Wright. Two step overs there from Wright and knocks it into a player for Binghamton. It's Bain. He plays it all the way back to Swarthout.
Well, Greater Binghamton Sports Complex is where Visions Field is. It's 1500 Airport Road in Binghamton. And according to this, it says it's the largest dome structure in the United States. Do you think the game tomorrow is indoors?
It can't be.
I can't imagine that.
Hey, you never know. Put the air conditioning on and let the boys run.
I hope it's air conditioned. You know, the Carrier Dome's not air conditioned, at least not yet. It's supposed to be soon.
Stone to Kissy. Can he keep it in play? He's going to run off. And there'll be a restart coming up here for Greater Binghamton. Doug Miller has come out of retirement. He has scored and comes off to a nice round of applause. Swarthout, 84th minute. Binghamton a few minutes away from reaching the unfortunate mark of double-digit losses.
Definitely.
They had stopped the bleeding for a little bit. 2-1 loss, 4-0 loss, 4-1 loss. And now Calvo trying to bring this one closer. Le Petit off the chest. Perfect goaltending. Off his line, made himself big.
Good save from Le Petit there. You don't want to give Binghamton another goal here because, again, you're playing the same team tomorrow. You don't want to give them any confidence. You want to say to them, hey, we're the better team. We're going to come in your place. We're going to prove it again and get another W on the board.
Doug Miller picks up the coaching jersey again. Up off his feet on the sideline, guiding the players. Stone steps in. This is onside. Gerber's in. On the right foot, the shot right at the keeper.
Could have done better there, Gerber. Right at the base of the keeper. And if he had lifted it up off the ground, maybe he would have got a better chance to put the ball in the back of the net in the 85th minute.
Gerber looking for his first of the season. He had 1 goal last year in 9 games played. Yet to find the back of the net in 2018. Kissy deflects the ball. And just pounded forward now by Jackson. Luro. Calvo. He wants another chance. He's in again. Calvo. Holmes nudges him off the ball. The referee points to the spot. And it'll be a penalty for Greater Binghamton and a yellow card for Glenn Holmes in the 85th minute.
I don't know, Joe. I think the line's obviously trying. At this point, 85th minute, you're not going to get a big goal difference in this match. It's pretty much done. You don't want to give Binghamton a goal here, but things happen, and we see a lot of penalties in the World Cup. We're going to see one here.
And there's confusion as to who is going to take the kick. Iman Garrity pointed, no, I don't want it, you take it. So it's going to be Lisberto Calvo who steps up to take the kick, the SUNY Broome Community College player. That was interesting. Normally you'll see one player march up and there's no discussion about it. Nobody wanted it for Binghamton. And it's Calvo just a few steps back. Waits for the whistle, winds, fires, and finds the back of the net. Not too far off the mark was Le Petit.
Guessed right, but
sure did.
Good speed, good placement, no really good chance for Le Petit. Makes it 5-3. Boy, it's almost an indoor score here.
It sure is. Calvo on the PK in the 86th minute to make this one 5-3. And it was Holmes who got the yellow card for the foul just inside the 18.
So Doug Miller will not have the game-winning goal in his potentially final match. Right now, it's the spectacular goal from Will Stone stands as the match-winning goal for the Rochester Lancers.
Stone looking for Finn, almost got it there, but headed away by Koulibaly. 87th minute on a warm, muggy day in Rochester.
So the Greater Binghamton Sports Complex does have outdoor fields. So the game will be outdoors, but they do, I guess, probably practice inside. It's very similar to Salem Sports Park, where they have a full-size soccer field under the dome. So again, that's 1500 Airport Road in Binghamton. If you want to go see the Lancers play tomorrow, 5 p.m. kickoff.
Streaking down the far side and a swiping tackle on Duell by David Wright, called for a foul. This one is just outside the 18.
I don't know about that, Joe. It looked like a clean tackle to me. But the referee's a lot closer than I am. But looking at it from up here, it looked like he got all ball.
And he is going to call for some help here. David Wright, looks like it's the left leg or left foot that is holding him up.
That was a hard challenge there by Wright. He put his body on the line and said it looked like he got the ball, but I'm not the referee. He's the man in the green shirt down there.
No more substitutions for Rochester. They've made 7. And David Wright's going to hobble up. He's going to try to work this one off, but since the trainer came onto the field, he'll have to walk off and try to work it out here momentarily. Free kick, far side for Greater Binghamton.
Kesey, the only man out of the penalty area right now for the Lancers.
The header, and it's just wide off the head of Cody Green.
Boy, Cody Green could have made it a very interesting final few minutes there. Wide open, nobody marking him from the 6-yard line, and he just did not find the target. You got to put the ball on frame, Mr. Green. Can't score without putting the ball on frame, and that was a golden opportunity missed for Binghamton. Stays Lancers 5, Binghamton 3.
Unbelievable. Here's Godoy. To Stone.
And the Lancers have one more home match, as do the ladies. Ladies and men will play next Saturday, July 7th at Marina Auto Stadium. The ladies will take on Lancaster Inferno, who are moving up the table in the UWS.
Sure.
And the men will face Fort Pitt Regiment, who are above them right now in the table, so looking to get the Lancers to try to jump another team or two in their last match of 2018.
Calvo slows it down. Now picks up the tempo, tries to get around Holmes. He's into the 18. Holmes much more careful this time. Schindler better get that away, and he finally does off a Binghamton player.
I think he planned that, Joe. I think he was waiting for the Binghamton player to come in so he could win the goal kick instead of trying just to swing wildly. That's the veteran play there from the Lancers captain, Schindler.
90th minute.
Looks like it's going to be 4-3.
Referee.
Do I hear 2?
He had 4 up, then he had 3 up. No official word yet. 3 it is going to be. 3 minutes of stoppage time. We can retire to the comfortable air conditioning environments. Maybe a little dip in the pool, Andrew. Why not?
You're the one who's going to go play golf. I mean, come on, Joe.
Not today.
No, not today.
Not today.
You got to watch the World Cup. Come on. You got the summer off.
I can find plenty of time for both, right?
Play at 6 a.m. when it's not.
That's
so
the
hot.
only time we play.
No, that's very smart.
Stone is in. Flag stays down. In front, looking for Gerber. Couldn't get it to him. Stone gets. Oh, he almost had the chance to turn the corner.
I think Stone thought he was going to get called offsides.
Godoy whistles one just by the far post.
Wow. The Lancers have had their chances in this game to post a big score line, and just either they've come up against a hot goalkeeper and Swarthout, or they've missed the mark. It's going to be a game of missed chance. But again, realistically, Joe, it's difficult to beat any team by double digits. And Binghamton's given a good accounting of themselves. They've been in the game most of the way. They've not played poorly at all. And again, with a good keeper, now they got coming forward again.
There's Calvo again. He's been dangerous since moving up to a more attacking position. Calvo. Still Calvo. Good bit of work. Holmes stops him. Schindler.
Boy, the Binghamton coach was really upset there. He wanted him to give that ball up because he had a man wide open on his left, and he tried to be Messi, I guess, on that play. And we know what happened to Messi. He's going home.
There's Stone. He'll come back outside for Kissy.
They played very well together today, Kissy and Stone. They're excellent coordination, excellent teamwork between the two top guys for the Lancers.
Kissy will work the corner, work the clock as well, about midway through the 3 minutes of stoppage time.
I think at this point, the Lancers want to just take the 3 points, go home, and celebrate a victory here. Hard-fought win in this very hot, very humid day here in Rochester, New York.
Lancers are 3-3-3 on the season. 1-1-2 at home. Looking to get up above the about a minute left.
You know what Doug's going to say to the players after the game? I mean, first of all, we get them inside first, and then I think he can say that there's been some chances they could have gotten in. There's some loose play on the defensive side that allowed Binghamton to get 3 goals. They've scored 4 goals all season, and they scored 3 here today. So I'm sure Doug won't be happy with that.
Absolutely.
But they'll have a chance to redeem themselves about 23, 22 hours from now, as these same two teams will play again in Binghamton.
Binghamton coming forward with Card. Luro. Hammered away now by Kissy, who's dropped back into a defensive position in the final seconds of this one. Referee checks his watch.
Ball's hammered into the stands, maybe coming in hard. Be sure to watch yourself.
Kissy and Luro battle for it. And Isaac wins a throw-in for the Lancers.
It's almost impossible to get the ball away from Kissy. He's so strong.
Going to the middle of the field, and that'll bring this one to a warm and muggy close. A lot of goals in this one today. The Lancers pick up the win. They go to 4-3-3, while Binghamton now in double digits in the loss column, 0-10 on the season. But as Andrew mentioned, a good showing for a team that has struggled early on in the MPSL season. Soccer Sam will have a post-game interview, but before we go down there, Andrew, your final thoughts on this one?
Give Binghamton a lot of credit. They came in the match with 4 goals scored. They scored 3 alone today, but too much firepower for the Lancers. And congratulations to Doug Miller, scoring on 20 seconds into his unretirement to get the Lancers their 3rd goal of the game. A beautiful goal and a good effort for the Lancers. We'll see what happens tomorrow and look forward to seeing them in their final home game next Saturday.
Andrew, always a pleasure. Great job as usual. And it was a great time, and we really appreciate you stepping in today to help out to cover for Nelson Cupello, who, by the way, will not be here next week. So if you want to jump in, feel free.
I'll negotiate a salary with Sam.
There you go. Let's go on to field level soccer, Sam, with one of our key players from the game, Will Stone. We're getting ready for our post-game interview. Lancers win it 5-3 over Greater Binghamton FC as Sam sets up for our post-game interview. Take it away, Soccer Sam.
Now we'll throw it down one more time. Our good friend, Soccer Sam.
All right, Johnny. Let Sam get this for us.
Soccer fans, the Lancer players, our staff that's been here since 9:30 this morning, we thank you so much for being here in this heat. People actually live in Arizona. I don't get it. But before we talk to Doug Miller, we have tonight's player of the game. His name is Will and the family Stone. Will, 1 goal, a spectacular goal, bicycle kick, if you will, and 2 great assists. Buddy, how was it out there playing in this heat?
Awful. I'm tired.
You tired? So Will, I mean, did England doing so well in the World Cup, did that motivate you tonight? You seem extra motivated. You were running, it's 110 degrees on the field here, you're running up and down. Does that help?
I don't know. I mean, like, we needed 10 goals today. We got half. I mean, it's frustrating. I mean, like, making playoffs now would be difficult, but I mean, we go into tomorrow's game needing 15. I mean, we can only be positive, I guess.
Well, you got to always be positive. Like, Colombia takes on England Tuesday, and since Portugal got eliminated, that's my team, I'm going to now kind of jump ship and go with England, all right?
I appreciate it.
All right, he's Will and the family Stone. I know some of you thought it might have been a dream. Doug Miller comes in to the game, standing ovation. 24 seconds later, Will Stone gives him a pass. Dude, it's like, I don't know how you do it, but that was amazing.
Well, you know, I got to thank Will for playing defense and winning the ball. But, you know, God is good, and he's blessed me for the last 22 years, and I'm just thankful that I can come out and do it.
So now, after playing out here for, 20 minutes or so, do you think you're ever going to play again, or is this it, Doug Miller?
There's a good chance that I might play again. You never know.
Wow. He is Doug Miller, the living legend. Dougie, thank you so much. This memory people will never forget.
Well, I just thank everybody for coming out and bearing the heat. And this is an opportunity of a lifetime for these guys, and to play here in this stadium with all the tradition and all the players that have come through. It's just really exciting, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
All right, he's Doug Miller. We're going to go back to the band in a second, Phil Nero and John. Autographs over there underneath the scoreboard near the band. Please get an autograph, including a Doug Miller autograph. And I think there's jerseys over there, too, if you want to get a Doug Miller jersey and get it signed. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next week.